Hey everyone, we're back. We're going to be going into our third and final game of the evening, which I have entitled Drums in the Deep. Before we do so, we're going to introduce our characters. Also, I want to just say a quick thank you to The Forgotten One, who subscribed for 23 months now. We have Reflected Today, who subscribed for 29 months. Have some months, brother. Daily subscribed for 22. The Greener Grave for 5 months with Prime, and then The Forgotten One again, who gave out 10 community subs. I just wanted to say a quick, huge thank you to you guys. We really appreciate the support, and congratulations to everyone who got a sub from Frog. But that was really generous, you guys. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's hop into our character introductions. First up we have Diane Rott is with us tonight. Diane's returning. It's been a while since we've seen you, Diane, but welcome. How are you doing, Diane?
I'm doing quite well, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. I know that you participated in an adventure a long time ago, but tell me, how have you been? What have you been up to all this time?
Oh, I've been busy performing here and there.
Oh, yes. You make the majority of your trade as an entertainer before. You're entertainer first, adventurer second. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that is fair to say.
Where do you do a lot of your performing? Is there a particular area in the lands of DnDTime? I know that you're an undead. Do you perform a lot in Southtown, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Diane, I'm very glad to have you back, and I wish you all the success in the world in your adventure tonight.
Thank you.
Next, we have joining us once more, Adrien is with us. Hello, Adrien.
Hello, Pete. How are you today?
I am doing quite well, thank you. I'm glad you asked. Adrien, how are you?
Just, 2020.
Yeah, there's a lot. That's a pretty fair reaction. But Adrien, is there anything new? Do you have anything positive that's been going on as of late?
I've been playing a lot of Valorant.
Yes.
Great game. I've unlocked all of the champions finally.
This is all foreign. This is all foreign, strange speak to me. I can't fully comprehend this Valorant that you speak of.
Oh, okay. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, maybe someday. I would love to come and try and play these video games that you talk about sometime with you.
Sounds good, yeah.
Yeah, maybe play some WoW later. Welcome back, Adrien. It's good to see you. And last but not least, third, we have two more. Hubert Humphrey is with us once more. How are you, Hubert?
Doing quite well.
Hubert, there's something strange that I heard, and that is that you're a rogue, correct, Hubert?
Correct.
But it's telling me that you're a barbarian?
My secret's out already.
I didn't know that this was a secret. This was just the rumor mill that was kind of speaking about this. Hubert, how does it feel to be the first ever multi-classed character in all of DnDTime?
Well, there's a first for everything. Truth be told, it suits me just fine. I do tend to be a hothead sometimes.
I'm glad to hear that, Hubert. How have you been doing overall? Tell me, what's new with you?
Well, at the moment, you know about my ministry. I'm currently seeking out suitable locations to set up my groundbreaking ceremony.
Your groundbreaking ceremony, and what exactly will that ceremony be? When it's time for it to go out?
Well, I'll fill you in when I get to that details.
Fair enough. I won't put the horse before the cart. Hubert, it's good to have you adventuring with us once more, and I would welcome you back.
It's a pleasure.
And last but not least, we have a brand new adventurer here in the lands of DnDTime. We have Reginald joining us tonight. Hello, Reginald.
Good evening.
Reginald, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? Kind of, what's your skill set? What brings you to the land of D&D time?
Well, as you can imagine, I have been created by the great master Bartholomew the Wizard in order to prove that it can be done. I imagine I didn't inquire completely towards my master's the reasoning and all that, but I am proficient with cooking and with taking care of the party, I have some other skills that I hope I will not have to demonstrate. It is so very tiresome, but I suppose that should this happen, I will have to use my Warforged properties and appropriately dispose of any nuisances that my masters and the party will have to encounter.
Yes, well, you said that you were created by Bartholomew.
Yes.
Am I correct about that?
Yes, that is the truth.
It certainly makes sense that you would be. I was going to ask you the question why you joined up with Bartholomew's adventuring troupe, but I think that kind of answers the question in of itself.
Well, my master thought that it could be interesting to test my new abilities. Unfortunately, this crew will have to. Unfortunately, this adventure will have to test all of my skills, and there are some that I would rather avoid using. But if that is the case, then I will have to oblige. You understand?
Certainly, I certainly do understand. The adventuring life can be demanding at times. But Reginald, I hope that you don't have to put those particular skills to use today. But I guess we'll wait and see. And welcome to Bartholomew's adventuring troupe.
Glad to be here, masters. I am ready to take care of all your needs as far as cooking and other small services are concerned. I am also told that I can be a very good stylist and I have a beautiful voice, though I am not sure if the gentleman that told me that was entirely serious.
This is what Reginald says to you as all of you walk into Bartholomew's shop. You guys
can I give a brief description of my character?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you see a Warforged who is of a very, very lithe, almost scrawny build, and not very tall. Actually, he's quite short. He's made of wood and metal, as most Warforged are. But in his case, there are also peculiar tubes and pipes that run across his arms and seem to correlate on his back in a strange apparatus. Other than that, he's wearing a pair of black pants that are 2 sizes too big for him, tied together with a plain belt. They are quite nicely pressed, but unfortunately a bit torn at the lower parts. And other than that, he's going what if he was human would be topless, except for a small bow tie matching black with the pants, of course, around his neck. His head is a little bit like one of those swirly wigs, and he's wearing a white mask over his mouth and nose, with a crudely drawn grumpy mouth and nose with a curly mustache.
This is the figure that you see as you guys enter into the shop, and Bartholomew kind of greets you all as you greetings, adventurers. I have something of an assignment for all of you today. We'll be going along with Reginald here. Reginald, I will say that now that you are a member of my adventuring troupe, we cannot be, I cannot be contractually tied to you in any way as your creator. So I will say that you are free to go about as you wish from this point forward. But I do wish you the best of luck in your endeavors today.
Bartholomew,
Master.
Did you get the inspiration for the bow tie from Pete?
Pete is not a name. I don't know a Pete. I'm sure I've seen a Pete wear a bow tie at some point or other.
Yes, I think that Pete has a very nice bow tie.
So that's very kind, I'm sure to say. But
I
no,
see I am already compared to someone else. Lovely.
Don't get too sad about that. And there's no need to refer to me as a master of sorts.
Oh,
But
I was getting rather used to that part. Oh well.
Yes, why don't the four of you get going? I do have an assignment for you. This will be your first, Reginald. But I need all of you to head out to Central City. Apparently, there's been earthquakes around the region. Perhaps some sort of drums is what people have been describing it. There's a rhythm to them of sorts, and they have not been able to sort it out. You need to speak to the local law enforcement there, talk to the town guard, and see if you can suss out where those are. Do you have any questions before I send all of you upon your way?
No, I think that everything seems to be in order, sir. Also, did you pack my? I have to ask before because I know I haven't been very attentive to these. Did you pack my calligraphy set alongside all my supplies?
I did not entirely certain about that, but if you look, I believe I put everything that you owned into that bag.
Well, then it should be there. Nice.
Yes. In that case, going once, going twice. And Bartholomew snaps his fingers, and you find yourself transported suddenly to Central City. There is no magic, there is no sound other than the snapping of his fingers. You're just standing in Bartholomew's shop, and then you are elsewhere instantaneously. And Central City is a bustling place. You can see people walking about. There's carts moving back that seem to be powered and motorized. The latest in kind of trigonometric technologies, electric arcane street lamps like the sides of the road. And you can see not far from the space in which all of you have appeared, you are able to see a what appears to be the town guard's kind of central barracks here in the city, where Bartholomew told you to meet up with law enforcement. And
I go to the front of the building. Reginald goes to the front of the building, and after seeing the guards that happen to be, at the front guarding, he pulls from a large, oversized bag on his back. He pulls out a tray, and he says, "Scone, anyone?"
The guard kind of standing over in front of the door, kind of looks down towards you. That's very thoughtful. Yes, actually, I will. And he kind of reaches up, he kind of reaches down, takes one. The other guard kind of looks over at him and like, yeah, me too. Grabs one as well.
I am glad if you liked them. I made them myself this morning. No, they're not precious, but still, they're quite sweet, but a little bit overcooked.
What's everyone else doing at this time?
I'm just looking around.
Hubert, you're kind of getting the lay of the land around here. Go ahead and make me a perception check as you're kind of taking things in. Diane, Adrien, anything you guys are doing as you're kind of coming into the space here?
Could I have a find familiar?
You can have already.
Acquired a find familiar. Perfect.
Done your find familiar before you came.
Fantastic. Will that cost me a spell slot or no?
No, you just already have your familiar. That's fine.
I'm gonna have my familiar look around then.
What's your familiar?
It's a big barn owl.
Your familiar would not be able to actually.
A big what? A big what?
A barn owl.
Yeah.
Your owl kind of flies off and begins kind of taking in the space. Your familiar actually would not be able to detect the thing that I was having sort of roll perception for.
Interesting.
Funny enough. And Diane, what about you? What are you up to?
I'm probably going up to guards and say, well, hello there. We're the group sent by Bartholomew to investigate the rumbling beneath your feet, so to speak.
And as that is stated, as he kind of reminds about the rumbling beneath your feet, you guys start to feel the pulsing as that's brought to the forefront of your mind. You can feel the kind of the pulsing of the ground beneath you, and the guard over to your right kind of in the middle of chewing one of the scones, like, oh yeah, sorry, we've had our hands busy all day, really, with this whole. I don't know if you heard about the whole Sal scandal. Really crazy stuff going on with hats in the city today. We haven't been able to pay any attention, but we got to get this earthquake thing taken care of too. Come with me. I'll bring you over to the captain. And he steps inside and kind of leading the group of you onwards and in. And as he does so, he kind of calls it, Captain! A human man walks out. He kind of steps over to you as you approach, and he goes, all right, good. Glad you guys...
I offer him a scone before he speaks.
No, I'm good. I already had some crawlers earlier. I appreciate the offer. No, I got work for you guys to do today. We've been, frankly, completely swamped with... you guys heard about the whole Sal thing? The hats?
Oh.
Well, anyway, don't worry about it. Terrible murders involving hats. It's been a day. But we can't leave these underground problems done either. So while we're handling that, we need you to go down beneath the surface and see if we can figure out what's going on down there. You guys feel it? You guys feel the rumbles, the earthquakes?
Yes, there was just one a moment ago.
Yeah, well, there's been one every moment ago. If you pay attention for like a couple minutes, you're going to notice that these earthquakes, they're like constant. And we've been doing this.
I want to imagine that while the ground is shaking, Reginald is as stiff as a board with the tray of scones on his hand, and only the hand is moving, trying to balance it so they don't fall down.
Yeah, and you're doing a good job. Of course, it's not violent. It's just kind of like a subtle shaking to it. So you're able to hold it up, and he kind of continues. Yeah, so there's been an abnormal amount of earthquakes. It's not like we never get earthquakes around here; they're pretty rare. The thing is we started to notice it's like there's a pulse to it. It's like boom, down, almost like a beat. So there's something funky going on. We went down into the sewers. We talked to the Cult of the Green Sun that's down there. We sent one of our boys down. He came back. He was like 400 years old and a dwarf. We figured that was their way of saying, no, it's not us. So it's something else. It's got to be something coming from the Underdark. So we're going to bring you over to the sewers and get you down to the Underdark. Does that sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
Way.
It sounds delightful.
I'll get moving. Come with me. I could use the moment to get out anyway. I'll walk with you. Yeah, he sets out and begins kind of leading you. He begins kind of leading you across the city. And you'll notice as you're looking around, like, you don't know how long this has been going on, but people here are starting to, like, definitely, like, almost adapt to it. You're noticing people on the streets that are kind of, like, tapping their feet, and some of them are kind of, like, nodding their head almost in anticipation of, like, the deep, the deep kind of pulses from below, like they're almost being kind of, like, lulled in by it. They've just kind of, like, adapted to this deep underground pulse. The guard captain leads you guys quickly across the city streets. Captain Guard wasn't even wrong. It just sounded weird. And he brings you over to an open sewer grate, and he goes, all right, so a lot of our kind of sewage here in the city, it kind of funnels down through these points, and then there's an opening to the Underdark, and we just kind of let a lot of it just sort of, you know what I mean? So anyway, what I'm getting at is there's going to be some, it might not be like the best smell, but you're going to get past that pretty quick, and then it's a pretty straight shot down there. Some vertical climbing. Are you guys good at climbing? You Bartholomew's adventurous. You'll be fine. And he opens up the He opens up the grate leading down into this space, and he goes, "All right, I wish you the best of luck down there. Stop the earthquakes. Worst case scenario, tell us what's causing them. You know."
Well, we'll find out what's causing the earth beneath your feet to move.
Yeah, if it's impossible to sort of figure it out, then whatever. But or if it's impossible to stop it, then whatever. Sometimes you go down, you hire like story tier adventurers, and it turns out that the earthquakes were, the ancient Titan, which I don't expect that, but if you can handle it, handle it.
Well, we'll see what we can do to get it to stop.
Yeah,
We shall endeavor to take care of it post haste and return home for dinner.
That is good news. If we can get this thing wrapped up by dinner time, then hey, everyone's going to be happier for that. So best of luck down there. Anything else I can do for you before I get on out of here?
No, we can take care of it from here.
I think so.
Excellent. And he turns around and begins kind of walking fairly leisurely back to the guardhouse. And a dank sewer awaits.
How delightful.
It didn't sound like he necessarily thought it was delightful.
So Reginald, he walks in without the tray back in the bag, of course, and he walks inside, probably in the front of the party, as he scans around the environment for anything, any cracks on the wall that we should be aware of due to the shakes, any structural integrities or anything that generally shouldn't belong there. I have to make an...
yeah, go ahead and make me an investigation check.
an investigation?
As you begin heading down that way.
Idiot. And it's 9.
One second, I'm having a little bit of a problem with my own Roll20. If you give me just a moment to refresh my own Roll20 here. But
also,
with a 9, looking around, you're not noticing any major structural damage or anything. I mean, you can feel the kind of vibrations of the space. They're a little bit more prominent as you're getting down into, presumably closer to the source. But nothing major.
You see, the rest of you see, Reginald's eyes, 2 small green orbs. They light up a little bit, and the small beams of light, they start to scan the surrounding. Then he tries to do a 360 turn with his head. He gets a little dizzy. He adjusts the head and says, "I think should not be good." Trying to hide the fact that he didn't see anything.
Yeah, you begin kind of changing yourself in this way, and the rest of you, I assume you guys all kind of climb down into the space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
As you're kind of entering in here, what you do see is the area here. It appears to be near a kind of a central confluence within the sewer systems beneath Central City, and there's a lot of water and kind of sludge runoff that's leading into just a very large open pit that seems to kind of pour downward into the Underdark. And there are sort of access ladders to get down to the bottom of this. This isn't necessarily directly into the Underdark. It's not just you look down oh, well, that's it. But there's kind of a cave system. You can see there's some places where there's some natural underwater water here that some of this kind of sludge is getting poured towards. And there's an access ladder leading down into the caves that wind and curl beneath Central City here.
Is that supposed to be here? That's supposed to be
I don't believe so. After all, they built the city.
You don't question. I find it best that you don't question the way Central City seems to build itself at times.
See, so it does so in a peculiar manner. Okay. he starts descending into the with the ladder. He starts to take the ladder and descend down.
All right. Yeah, you begin heading down, and at this point, as you get down here, there's some kind of there's some kind of rather arcane lights in the lamps that line the sewers, so maintenance and workers and such can see their way down there if they have to go down. But as you're heading down, this seems to be just kind of like the end of civilization and just into the wild caverns of the Underdark. And as you begin sort of heading down this way, it's growing darker and darker. Do any of you have lights or any means to see or dark vision, things like that?
Diane has dark vision?
I do not think so.
I have a torch.
A torch will get you there. You light one up, do you, Hubert?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Hubert, your torch blazes to life, and you begin heading down the ladder as well, casting a little bit of light into the gloom here. You can see as you reach the bottom of the ladder and onto the cave floor, the cliff sides here and the cave system, it's a very steep downward angle. There's kind of a couple of points of diversion where the caves kind of flow off, and like that, basically that like runoff from the town sewage that flows into this space, it kind of falls down and into a kind of a separate cave, but with your kind of passive perceptions, following your ears and feeling the rumbling, which is kind of growing ever more and more present, the deeper that you're going, you find you're kind of able to follow generally the right path, and it is a steep kind of downward climb. There's not a lot of every step you make you have to like be cognizant of and careful as you make your way downwards.
I'm gonna cast the cantrip Control Flames on the torch.
What is the effect that you're creating with this?
I'm gonna double it.
He's like, I'm going to snuff it out. Just yeah, no, you the torch flares to an even brighter light. The light casts deeper into the cavern ahead. And what are all of your passive perceptions, actually?
15.
15.
Question: Where do I see the passive perception?
It's
passive
10 plus your
perception-
perception modifier.
Yes, but
Okay.
also it'll appear underneath your skills on your character sheet.
I have
Okay.
a 12.
Diane has 10.
12 as well.
All right. Everyone but Diane here, you begin to notice. Diane, you're still feeling the rumbling of the earth, but the rest of you are beginning to sense kind of something else on top of it, and that is a more steady pulse than it is that you guys are. Oh, not that. That you guys are starting to notice. Underneath all of these rumbles, you're also just hearing sounds. They're low and they're kind of bassy, but you think that it might be the sound of distant music, particularly drums. And that is that is kind of what you're noticing as you're following along these caverns, following the sound to the best of your ability, following these rumbles and these earthquakes where they're the strongest, until eventually you reach a very interesting cave, and the guard captain had mentioned that there was a point where it just really drops off into the Underdark, and you can tell that this is that point. You walk to the edge of the cave, and there's just like a downward chasm that just extends into darkness, even for those with dark vision. And here, these sounds are starting to grow even more present.
I believe we're getting very close to whatever is causing this disturbance.
The ground,
in a way.
the ground rumbles again.
We have no
Possibly that.
We have no choice but to continue onward.
Potentially.
I'm going to use Control Flames to double it again.
I don't think it works like that.
If you cast this spell multiple times, you can have up to 3 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time.
I think that would apply to the rule of spell stacking, but for this exact thing, because you can't benefit from the same effect multiple times on stuff, but for this exact thing, I will allow you to make a very bright torch. I'm fine with this.
So from
that is quite useful.
20 to 40 to 80 to 160.
As the light blazes and this torch, it's starting to like hurt your hand to hold on to the bottom of it at this point, Hubert, as your torch keeps blazing brighter and brighter. But as it extends and begins to light up the cavern, you're able to see that there are thick strands that are running throughout this cavern. They look like really thick, like strings or almost like incredibly thick spider webs, and these vibrations and these sort of and these beats that are kind of pulsating throughout the space, you can see that they're causing these strands to vibrate and filling this whole cavern with these very like bassy, very full sort of tones that they're making.
I believe that is an indication of a certain arachnid prowling about, probably of the very large variety. We best be on our guard for these creepy crawlers.
Do you perchance happen to be familiar with the drow?
Well, I have something in my databanks here. There's Master Bartholomew did provide me with certain info about these things, I hope. Should I roll something to have info? Or,
yeah, you can, I'll allow you to, like, make choices for stuff that you guys know about, like, if you think you know about a monster.
I think it would be more fun to have maybe roll an Arcana or Nature.
Yeah, absolutely, that's up to you.
Nature?
Nature, I think, would be the way to go on this.
Nature?
13.
13. I have heard about them. They are these very, very dark-skinned chaps that they have very pointy ears, probably like elves. Do we have an elf in the party? I'm not sure.
Well, the thing is, they have a particular perchance to spider.
So they are spidery, pointy-eared chaps. That sounds very. Yeah, that sounds like something all right.
Now,
I'm just saying, yeah, keep an eye out.
Just for my own memory, Adrien, you are a human, right?
Negative.
You're not a human. Are you an elf?
Half elf. All of the ground models are.
I thought that you were just a straight human for some reason. And I think it's because I think I know the reason why I thought that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we are a little. Oh yeah, they're a little bit like that, like that one over there. But I think they are more sharp. They look a little bit sharper, a little bit darker, a little bit more red. I think. Actually, maybe they are not related at all.
Anyway, that's the scene where you are. The drop off here is very steep, but these threads, these long kind of like strands, they're like almost, again, thick wire. They're long enough, like you could like walk on them if you tried. It would be like a tightrope walking. They also look kind of flexible by the way that they're vibrating and the way they're kind of holding up to these earthquakes. So you could probably like climb down on them.
Reginald puts a finger on one of the strings and he tugs it ever so slightly before letting it go to see if it vibrates like a guitar string.
It does so. It's pretty sturdy. Like you pull it with a good amount of force, and it doesn't succumb to the pressure that you put on it. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I start heading down.
You want to try and
trying to find the source of the thrumming?
Yeah, I mean it's coming from below, so.
So we head down.
All right.
Down we must go.
In that case, as you're getting to this point, you're gonna have to you can either try and climb down the cliff wall, or you can try and descend using these strings. Or if you have some other way of descending safely, you could do so. But it's just kind of open fall, other than the strings and the side, which would be just hand climbing.
Reginald takes the string. He takes the string.
Could I use my rope to assist with the descent by string?
How, if you could explain to me how using the rope would advantage you if you were hanging from the strings.
So I can use it kind of to tie all of us together, and then tie this thing to a strand that seems to be going downwards, maybe?
So you almost are you trying to do a zip line thing almost?
Yeah.
You can try that, absolutely. And that will get you a lot of the way down pretty safely. You are going to have something of an issue when you zip line to the bottom and into a cliff face. So that's going to be the one catching point of this, but that would get you a lot of way very safely, except for the very end. So if you want to try that, then have a plan to deal with that. I'll say in advance. What about Hubert and Diane? What are you guys working on?
I do have additional rope.
You gonna make your own zipline, Hubert? Hop on the zipline plan?
Dan's just gonna descend via the cliff face instead of going by the strand.
By the threads, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for starters, Diane, your progress is going to be the slowest, decidedly, but maybe also just it's not. It's definitely also the hardest, in a sense, where it's you have to put in the most labor. But I would like you to make me an athletics check. So this is going to be probably more strength based.
All right.
As you begin to go down. All right, Diane's climbing, making steady progress down the side. I believe that you said, Reginald, that you were just going to kind of climb down the strings.
He's climbing down the strings of the spider.
Go ahead and make me.
He has no concept of what that does.
Go ahead and make me an acrobatics check as you attempt to kind of nimbly go down these.
Coming up.
5.
5.
Not a great situation, but we'll resolve that in a moment. And are you and Hubert doing zipline plan?
Yeah, could I make a cinch to slow us down as we get closer to the end?
That's gonna be in that case, this is going to be an intelligence check. I think this is what you've set up here, which makes a lot of sense for you.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So go ahead and make me an intelligence check. I'll let you add your proficiency as well, because you're a wizard. So go ahead and just roll me that. Excellent. 23. All right, you make a cinch, and so if you go first, you think that you will be able to stop yourself pretty readily, and then behind you, sword might crash into you, Hubert might hit you, but that's gonna do maybe a damage, so you're fine. Yeah, you get you create this kind of zip line that you're able to go down. So you see Diane is just kind of laboriously climbing down the cliffside. Diane, you look over probably at least a little bit jealous as you see the two of them whip down on the zip line and just begin zipping down. You find a nice downward slanted one as you move deeper into the chasm. But after you kind of get down to that point, you stop and you look up and you can see that Reginald above you. You maybe look a little bit less jealous, Diane, as Reginald, who's you're climbing down the strings. You have to kind of walk in places and let go and just kind of let yourself fall in places, Reginald. But you're going okay for a moment until you catch one that it kind of bends and bounces a little bit more than you were expecting to when you grab onto it, and your hand slips and you begin to kind of you begin to kind of fall and tumble downwards into this maze of string, bouncing from kind of string to string as you kind of crash into them. You suffer. Oh wow! Actually, not bad. You suffer 1 point of bludgeoning damage, as you could have been very bad. As
I
you
imagine he falls on his feet, but due to the impact, his feet get lodged up to the ankle into the dirt.
Well, actually, what you fall into is a collection of these strings that are a little bit more tightly woven together, and you do unfortunately
like a trampoline.
A little bit more like a trampoline, but you do fall prone as you kind of bounce on it a couple of times. It makes a lot of very interesting tones. You bounce on it a couple of times, but then almost
fall on my face.
That's fair. But then you almost immediately see kind of skittering along that thing what appears to be a very large, very strange-looking spider. Its legs are very kind of long, a little bit longer and more spindly, and its body is very circular. And this thing's kind of like crawling along the string and moving along the pipe towards you, and you can see that not 1, 2, 3 of these things are starting to kind of creep along towards where you've ended up in their kind of trampoline-like web here.
I'm feeling 2 very conflicting emotions. One is pain, the other is... I don't know. I think the proper term is being weirded out. I think I saw some spiders, but they were particularly larger and particularly spindlier than what my archives have.
And you hear this. You hear Reginald kind of speaking this to himself as you see these 3 spiders approaching. I would like you guys to roll for initiative, please.
Immediately.
And that's going to be for them.
There it is.
They're going to go.
13.
Oh wow, they are dead last. So the first to act in this case is going to be you, Adrien, or actually
down there.
It's Diane. Wow.
Yes.
Diane, you look down and you've been kind of climbing pretty successfully over the rock face, and you see these kind of spiders falling down about, I would say, 60 feet below you. Right on kind of the outskirts of your vision, you're able to see these spiders that are approaching and kind of collapsing on the position of Reginald here. What would you like to do as this happens?
Let's see. Diane's gonna hold her action right now.
What are you holding your action for?
If the spiders seem to go after Reginald.
So you're waiting until they actually like sort of collapse on Reginald or attack Reginald in order to make attack. Absolutely. All right. In that case, that's going to bring us next initiative to Adrien.
All right. Are the 3 spiders within close proximity of each other?
They are all kind of approaching from different strands. They are not in close proximity of each other, but they are all moving in towards Reginald's location.
Okay. Then I'm gonna cast Scorching Ray.
That seems like a very good spell for the situation. When there's 3 spiders all heading in, or I guess that doesn't necessarily that. You are about 30 feet above, because you got down kind of quicker on the zip line, so you're only about 30 feet off of this point. What would you like to do?
2 rays at 1.
And the third one at another one, obviously. Go ahead and roll those attacks.
This is the 1.
All right, 12 points of damage.
And then 2 at another one.
All right. 13 is going to just hit, and then the 22, of course, hits. So, wow, you did more with the 1 than with the 2. You deal 12 and then 11 points of fire damage to these spiders. As soon as your fire strikes into them, you see it kind of courses past them and onto like the webbing and the netting in here. And this spider web does not burn, actually. It's definitely a little bit different than most webs. But the spiders kind of like hiss, and you see them kind of like kind of turn and kind of look up in your direction as you strike them, and you see their kind of much longer legs. They like straighten and kind of both of them kind of stand up in reaction, and so that they almost look like a really weird sort of shrub, which has this like circular top and then just like a stem going down to it, as their legs like center into themselves. If that description makes sense for what they do, as they have this kind of weird straightening up reaction.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anything else on your turn? They definitely did not seem to enjoy being hit with fire.
My owl. Can it give advantage to the next ally in initiative?
Can it do that?
Yes.
Then yes. That's going to be Hubert next. What would you like to do, Hubert?
I'll take my short bow and take a strike at the one that took 12 damage.
There's one problem with this. You are currently hanging by zip line from a string here, so you would need to use both hands to wield the short bow. So you would have to let go and try and like land on a string below in order to fire your short bow in the air, which you could do. It would just be a check. Is that
I think it'd be easier for me just to jump and try to land on one.
fair enough? Go ahead and make me an acrobatics check. 10. You have obtained the bare minimum needed to navigate in this area. You kind of swing yourself a little bit and jump off, and you land on one of the strings, and you kind of bounce and bound a little bit as you kind of land on it, and you almost fall, but you manage to get down into the more tightly woven kind of trampoline web here, and you are on the same plane as the spiders. Do you want to land near one of the ones that Switch already hit, or do you want to land near the one that's untouched?
I'll land the one next to the one untouched.
All right, you do so. And what would you like to do when you get there? You still have your action.
Do I have my bonus?
Your bonus action, yep, you have that as well.
All right, I'll pop my rage.
That's the gentlest way I've ever heard someone say that sentence. Just like, it's a very calm rage. You enter into a rage, and then what would you like to do with your action?
Come here, you whippersnapper.
Fair enough. 23 is going to hit for roll damage on that. 12! Oh man, all these spiders have taken some pretty hardy blows here. As you stab into him, it also enters into that kind of posture, but it's a little bit more, it's less kind of aiming itself upward and more kind of almost pointing at you. Anything else on your turn?
That'll be all.
Reginald, the turn belongs to you. You are kind of on your back, or rather you said on your face, right now on this kind of spiderweb trampoline, and there are two spiders that are walking along their webs kind of towards you, and one that's been intercepted by your ally. What would you like to do?
I am trying to get up, to stand up if I can. Can I do that?
Yep, you can stand up from prone. It costs half of your movement to do so.
All right, I'm asking because I wasn't sure if I was kind of stuck on the web on the trampoline or something.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
the web
so
doesn't have any adhesive properties that allows
Reginald stands up. He takes off his bow tie. He puts it in a small pocket on his left chest. And can I reach any of the spiders at present?
Yeah, you could get over to the one that's your ally Hubert is in front of. You couldn't reach because he's just kind of in the way of it, but you could get to either of the other two that were shot before by
Okay, are they in solid ground or are they on strings?
They are on strings.
Okay, so I go in front of one of those that was hit, preferably the one that is the farthest away, and I try to cut the string that it is holding on to.
All right, go ahead and make me an attack roll.
Okay. Wait one moment.
Against the string.
Okay, you see Reginald reach inside the huge bag. He pulls a blade that folds out into what seems like a very large glaive, especially for him, that yet he wields with quite a little bit of proficiency. And yeah, how do I do it? Oh yeah, here it is.
19 is definitely going to hit. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
Here we go.
Wow, 12, man. A lot of good damage rolls from you guys, jeez. The glaive swings free and kind of slices downwards and into these strings, and as you begin kind of cutting through it, it pulls and it gets a little bit stuck for a moment, and these strings, these are just very obviously not like regular spider threads. As from all the properties you've seen them, it's almost like cutting through. It's almost like cutting through a very thick strand of wire that's been kind of coiled onto itself a bunch of times. But as it kind of like jams up towards the end, you just barely manage to kind of like cut through the last little bit, almost having to saw at the end, and it snaps. And that spider begins kind of like falling downwards below. They're going to make a dexterity saving throw.
And that is for leaving all this rubbish all over the place. Shame on you.
The spider falls. You see it kind of like skitters and clicks a little bit as it begins falling down before you. You see it falls onto webs below, and it kind of catches itself on some of these string-like webs. And you see it kind of like bound a little bit, and its feet kind of lock into the string, and it rights itself. It's now like a pretty fair distance below you, but it actually is still doing it all right, it looks like.
Oh, bother.
And that's going to bring us to the spider's turn. One of those ones that stood up that you hit with a firebolt, Adrien, it was kind of in that upright posture. You see it brings itself down a couple of times and like almost like it's trying to build something up, and then it brings its body down right almost parallel with the string, and then pushes upwards and rockets up towards you, using the vibration and the bounciness of the string to bounce up towards you, as it rockets through the air up like the full 30 feet, and lands next to you on top of the string. You're hanging underneath it, and it kind of like coils down and is like upside down facing you, wrapped around the string, as it's going to make a bite attack with you. I'm going to give it disadvantage because you're not on the string and you're under it, which is not really its game.
Yeah.
As a as a 5. It goes to kind of bite at you with its row of kind of it has 4 fangs, and the attack misses. As we move to the other one of them is right in front of you, Hubert, and it's going to make the same attack against you, but it's not an advantage. It's a 15 against you, Hubert.
And it misses.
15's gonna miss. Wow. And then the last one that kind of fell down underneath where you are, Reginald. It kind of puts itself in that same pose where it kind of stretches itself down. It does that same kind of bounding leap upwards, landing up and then crashing back down onto the space nearby you.
Oh dear.
And you see,
I was hoping to avoid all this.
they're going to make an attack against you.
No.
It didn't come. Oh, that's a 12 against you. Is that going to hit?
Nope. 15 armor class.
It goes to bite down onto you, and you feel the fangs just kind of harmlessly strike into the metal of your Warforged form.
I will not actually, it tries to bite down, and Reginald slaps the fangs away.
No, not spider.
And that's all for those foe spiders' turns. To bring us back around the top, Diane. I'm sorry, Diane. You had a ready to action.
Yeah.
They definitely have attacked. Go ahead and make your attack roll when they attack. Which one? I'll let you just pick up the litter. Which one do you want to attack?
I'll attack the one that attacked Reginald.
All right, go ahead and make me. Oh my goodness. 23, and it's going to make a dexterity saving throw. There were opportunities. Again, I forgot to call for you when it happened, so I'll say it's not in a position where Reginald would have to get affected by this. It's going to make a dexterity saving throw. That combined with other damage, this spider as Reginald, it's kind of like it jumps back a little bit and is getting ready to dive back in, and from above and behind you, you see a dagger of ice flies through and just pierces into the spider's body before exploding into shards, finishing that one off. And Diane...
I turn towards whoever threw that, give a thumbs up.
Diana looks down at you, and it's Diane. Now it's your turn. That was your reaction from last turn. Now it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Another ice knife at a spider.
All right, fire away again.
Let's see.
Sometimes ice knife just works, you know.
Yeah.
15 is gonna hit again. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
All right.
Are you going after the one near Adrien or the one near Hubert?
Adrien.
Yeah. All right. Gonna make a dexterity saving throw. That spider succeeds, taking... Do they take half damage on that?
No, they avoid the cold damage.
Okay, well, they take the full 7 from the attack.
Yeah,
so
they take the 7, but they
7's enough to finish that spider off anyway, because it took a huge chunk of damage from Adrien the first time, so you kill another one with another ice knife. But this time I will need you to make me a dexterity saving throw as well, Adrien, because the spider is in melee of you.
Okay.
And you do take the 5 points of cold damage as the shards explode outward in a flurry. Anything else on your turn, Diane?
Nope.
Adrien, what do you want to do?
I am going to bonus action, take a little sip real quick.
Nice. You drink a healing potion.
Heal back up to full. And then I'm going to create un bonfire where the last spider is.
All right. They're going to make a dexterity saving throw, I believe.
Yep.
They're going to succeed on that, unfortunately. A fire appears in the spider before you, Hubert, but it kind of takes a couple of quick skittering steps away, avoiding the flames. As we move now to your turn, Hubert.
The owl is going to give advantage on the next attack and then fly away with flyby.
Yep. Hubert, what would you like to do?
Let's finish this fucker off.
Yeah, make me that roll. 13 is going to barely hit. That's exactly what you needed. And that will finish this sucker off. Would you care to describe the final killing blow on this last spider?
I strike at his legs and decapitate.
Oh no. Yeah, well, he's kind of all legs and head, so he really only has legs and head. So with a swift kind of pierce of the rapier through where the legs had kind of bunched together in the middle, the head just kind of falls away without legs. And it's a very sad end for this particular spider, which tumbles to the ground below.
Everyone knows that rapiers are the decapitating weapon.
Yes. Yeah, the most decapitating weapon ever produced.
And with that, the spiders have kind of skittered. Did you see there was like a few that were? You can see that there's like a few more that were starting to like skitter down webs and things towards you, and then they stop and turn around and kind of like go back when they see how Sword decapitated that spider. And that is all for them. And you guys are able to make your way safely down to the ground below.
Reginald, he folds back the glaive into his bag. He wears the bow tie again, making sure to properly tie it, and goes up to one of the spider corpses.
That is why you do not litter.
And then goes about to the rest of the party.
What kind of tie do you use for your bow tie? What kind of knot?
Oh, the one with the simple one with the center and the two outward little things. I don't know what it's called. Let me get a picture.
The probably the similar one to the one that I wear, I would assume, right?
I don't know. When you type bow tie and it's the simple, very small one.
Yeah, the classical.
Center. Yeah, that one.
You guys kind of reach down to the bottom of this cavern, and these drums, this sort of pulsing that you've been feeling, it's never been stronger, and you can see up ahead there's an opening towards the base of this cavern, and there are these sort of like blue lights that seem to be emanating from up above, up ahead. What before was just sort of, before it was just kind of like, again, pulsing, now it is tangible, it is kind of tangible music that you're starting to hear. It is drums, unmistakably, that are being played.
My, have a musician in our midst.
What would you all like to do?
I imagine I proceed towards the sound of the drums out of curiosity to see what it is.
All right, you begin walking along this kind of cave, and the further you go, the more deafening this sound is becoming. It's just around you. It's filling up the walls. You can feel it in the you can feel it in the ground. You can feel it kind of rattling for you. Your mechanics, your workings are kind of like shaking and vibrating. For others,
I am glad I do not have inner squishy organs.
For others, it's the heart. You can kind of feel it like just pounding in your heart. And as you guys emerge into this cavern, you can see that there is a pretty large group of creatures down here. And they are in the middle of playing the centerpiece of this space. As you move into a pretty massive cavern here, the whole floor of this cavern appears to be an incredibly large drum that a lot of these creatures are standing on and also playing their own drums, like on the beat of this drum, and you'll see all of them kind of suddenly like jump in their dance and all land on this big central drum at the same time, sending this huge reverberation. The deep bass, and obviously this is like the earthquake feeling that you were feeling. You can tell that, you know, you're here. And they're just kind of like engaged in this dance and in this motion. The creatures that you're seeing, they're strange. You were thinking drow before, and they're definitely spider-like, but these creatures are a lot more monstrous looking. They have 6 eyes. They have an extra set of limbs, which many of them are using to hold smaller drums and kind of playing. Some of them like juggling these kind of blue flamed torches and kind of like, you know, just entering into this kind of maddening dance. And you can see that all around there are all sorts of musicians and things.
I turn towards the rogue.
Are these the drow? Are these drow? I mean, I thought they were spiky, but this is a little bit off of what I thought it was.
Well, sometimes when the cults get a little silver of their god's power, they start taking on aspects and forms of.
Why?
The Rouse have a chance to, I believe, Loth, the Spider Queen.
How big is this drum, Pete?
It is the size of this cave, so it looks like hundreds of feet. Like the diameter of it is like 200 feet. Go ahead and make me a go ahead and make me just like a perception check on this cave.
Everyone?
Specifically him who was examining the drum a little bit closer.
Okay.
13. You can notice the drum, like, it's not, it looks, the way it's set up, like it's almost flush with the ground, like they dug out the bottom of this cave and lowered this huge drum into it, but you get the impression, like, it's not that tall, like it's not that deep of a drum. It's basically like they just put down almost this drum floor mat, and you can see it's like segmented. So it looks like it was constructed probably recently, and it's not like embedded in this cave. They just have a really big drum.
Does it look like it is a flammable material?
I mean, the height of it seems to be made of some type of skin.
Oh, we're going there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what creature possibly could have had a skin large enough to fit a drum like this, but it appears to be made of some kind of skin, as many drums are.
But it's segmented.
It's segmented.
Like it's made of scales?
Not exactly like it's made of scales.
It's like stitched together?
You would have to like really get a detail. You guys are like entering the cave and like seeing this, and this dance that they're doing, you can see people like, the people that are on the drum dancing are kind of the focal point. You're starting to look around and you're seeing like tents and camps and things that are kind of set up in the distance around this space. And there's a lot of people that are just like drinking and eating and feasting, and they seem to be in the midst of a celebration. Is the impression
This looks like almost a residence.
Okay, I guess.
Honey, this isn't just a residence. This is a party.
Guess we have to go down and social our way through the rest of this adventure.
You can try. I mean, if you want to just like start throwing stuff at the drum, you can. But
I think that would be ill-advised.
From the description that I'm getting from you, Pete, it seems like there are too many to kill.
Oh yeah, this is a people. Yeah, this is a town for sure.
Yeah.
Let
me addendum that. Too many to kill at this level.
Yeah, there's there's always a point where divine word comes into play, but for now, and you guys begin to approach.
Yeah, I'll go social.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast words at them.
And you begin to walk a little bit closer, and as you guys step up, there's kind of like a stairway that leads up onto the drum face itself. Is that what you guys want to do, or there's also like a couple of like kind of makeshift rope ladders that lead up into the?
Well, shouldn't we head for whoever looks important, so we can social our way through this?
Go ahead and make me a intelligence check. I would let you just make an unskilled intelligence check if you want to just try and like identify leader. Is kind of what you're going for. 20 is going to get you there. You can see that there's an individual seated kind of high above the drum. There's a lot of people that seem to be like bringing this person things, and they're in sort of a central position. So that's your best guess for who's in charge. Like their chair is more special, is kind of the main thing that's sticking them apart here.
He has a special chair. That is a mark of royalty.
And they are kind of overseeing the drum kind of in the central location here in this chamber, and just watching the preceding dance.
I try to approach this very regal, very authoritative figure, and while not very close from while back, I pull out of my bag a small platter of meatballs and chips with the gravy at the side, and I try to offer it. I do a respectful bow as a butler should, and I try to offer it to him.
You guys are kind of walking closer and getting a little bit further further and further up towards where this individual is, and you see the you see as you get closer, like more and more of these creatures. Anyone who wants to make a nature check on what these creatures are, by the way, you're welcome to do so.
Okay.
See if you want to know, just before we go any further. Diane, will tell you, only you. These are chitines. They are kind of human spider hybrids that are, they actually do, at one point they were elves, but that was a very long and dark history ago. But these are chitines, which are kind of spider humanoid elf hybrids. These creatures kind of, as you get closer, some of them are starting to, like, you hear talk and whisper amongst themselves in kind of strange languages. Do any of you speak Undercommon?
Give me a moment, let me see. Nope.
All right, well, anyway, they seem to be speaking in a language that none of you can recognize, and you get closer as figures approach, and eventually, like, the leader's eyes kind of cast onto the group of you walking towards him before you kind of reach him, as he...
I missed you the last part. What happened?
I said his eyes kind of lock onto you guys approaching before you get quite next to him, and you see he just kind of holds out a hand in a fist and kind of closes it, and lowers it down in kind of a command pattern, and you watch as instantly all of the drummers and dancers just kind of snap to attention, and the music just suddenly comes to a stop. And he looks down.
Oh dear.
Who enters into our domain?
Residents of the above city, representing the great wizard Bartholomew, offering tokens of peace in hopes of reaching a certain agreement regarding certain activities. Good sir.
He kind of looks down, gazes at you for a while. You see there's definitely, like, he doesn't seem to fully understand, like, what it is that you are.
Naturally.
He looks at you for a while. He looks past at the rest of you. He kind of looks at you, Adrien, for a while, a little bit suspiciously, kind of leans back. So you're saying you're coming bringing gifts. I will accept them.
Okay, then with these gifts we hope to open negotiations concerning a small matter regarding your influence over the town above and certain activities that have mildly inconvenienced us. We were hoping to discuss, possibly. Huh?
Thinks for a time.
I raise the platter with the meatballs and the gravy and the chips.
He kind of reaches down and takes them. Go ahead and make me a persuasion check.
Okay, immediately. Persuasion check.
For your whole interaction with him up to this point.
Persuasion. Oh dear.
Oh no.
That is painful.
You see he reaches down and he kind of grabs one of the meatballs and he looks over. He doesn't have any silver or anything. He's just kind of holding it in his hand, and he takes a bite of it and kind of chews it for a moment.
Oh dear.
And kind of rips his head around, spits it out on the ground. Are you trying to poison me? And you see that there's a whole bunch of these chitines begin to kind of like rise at arms, and are all kind of like standing up, kind of aggressively waiting for word from him. What are the rest of you doing at this time?
Diane's gonna step forward and say, "Ignore the butler. He doesn't know anything about your unique race."
You see, Reginald, he lowers his head and, he takes a few sad, small steps backwards. Disappointed. Other such words.
And Diane, you kind of step forward. The leader here kind of looks towards you, looking a little bit perturbed, so to speak. At minimum, but he looks to you and is expecting you to kind of continue. What do you say? What do you do?
We were sent down here by the city to discover what was causing the rumblings. And possibly, and if possible, find a way to make it stop.
His face goes from like angry and upset to kind of like, you see there's a strange mix of emotions, but mostly he just seems really kind of like excited, and he goes, "Did you hear that? Our drums have reached the above even!" And there's kind of like a resounding kind of kind of like a cheer. He kind of, "Our celebration shakes even the heavens." You want us to stop? And he
if I may interject, Chief,
he looks at you, he holds his hands up, and he goes, Major,
my apologies. How long does this celebration typically take?
It's done when it's done. The new home that we've found here, it took us a long time to find a cave big enough to fit our huge drum.
How in the world did you build such a magnificent drum?
And he explains it with great pride and in great detail. It looks like they took the skin from a very big Underdark animal that they slew, and they just built it in pieces so that it could move. And then they just assemble it where they ended up, which was thankful because, and he kind of continues on at this point, we were driven out of our home, a terrible group of mind flayers took up, but we're fine. This place is actually better. The acoustics here are incredible.
I see.
And our celebration ends when it ends. The last one lasted how long? One of the other kind of chitines that is over near him kind of speaks up. 1,000 torches, Major. And he goes, 1,000 torches.
And how many torches have you run through?
Like 14, 15?
That's a lot of torches. Sounds like a big celebration.
We're just getting things started.
Can I like estimate how much a torch? Like, is it their torches or is it just any old torch?
There's a big torch behind him that's burning down.
Can I make an educated guess as to how long it would take?
Yeah, go ahead and make me an intelligence check. Just unskilled intelligence.
Unskilled intelligence. Boop.
Based on the kind of information that you got from the guard and looking at that big torch and the rate at which it's burning, you think a torch is a little bit less than a day.
A little less than a day.
Yeah,
okay.
So he's talking probably a few years.
He's talking 3 years here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's about what he's thinking. It looks like.
That sounds nice.
Go lay down.
And you see as they're kind of continuing to discuss, so when we're done, you won't have a problem with it anymore. And he kind of holds his hands up, and the music kind of starts back up again.
All right. Well, we have found the source of the thrumming.
Yes,
Job done.
indeed.
Shall we go back to Central City?
I suppose we should tell everyone.
Yeah, I
Are
suppose you
you-
could. The idea of you guys not stopping it, I guess he did tell you you could, like, not do it.
Yeah, he
Which is, a,
did.
which is a really weird thing for him to have said in retrospect.
Reginald is too sad to actually think of this.
Yeah.
Um,
he
Look at his sad,
didn't
my
like the
friend.
meatball.
Think of it as an opportunity. Major, may we participate in the celebrations and jubilation?
The kind of looks at you for a while. After you poisoned me,
Poison.
I mean, I actually feel fine, so I guess, yeah, if you want to listen to the music, we won't stop you. We're not looking to really hurt anyone, unless of course you're interested in a drum off. And a lot of people seem very excited about the idea of a drum off.
Would you care to explain?
He holds up his hand and stops the music again, and everyone gets very excited about the idea of this. He goes, a drum off is it's our ancient contest that we've held as long as we've made this huge drum.
Very well, I challenge you to a drum off. If you lose, you shall stop this celebration at once.
And if we win?
I will teach you my ways of drum.
He looks at you for a while, kind of like, that doesn't really seem a comparable trade. Play me a drum. Show me what you can do.
I am going to walk up to a surface that clearly does not seem like a drum. And I'm going to make drumming sounds using minor illusion and tap my hands on the surface.
Oh, okay. Still need you to make me a performance check, but I'm not going to impose any penalties because you're using magic to make real sounds. 9. And he kind of watches you do this for a while, and you see he just takes out a drum. Looks like Sword got knocked down. He just kind of takes out a drum and just kind of tap, 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 and does the same drum that you just did, and goes, I've learned your ways.
That was very smart.
But you did not do it on this surface. And I gesture at the surface.
He kind of looks at it a little bit skeptical, but with a 9, he's just not all that impressed with what you've done here. Anyone else have any stakes they could offer this guy that he might accept?
I think I burned down my chance with that nut.
He doesn't look. He's still kind of like, this weird metal dude is not really okay in his book at the moment.
Naturally. This metal depressed dude. He looks down. He's sitting down in a fetal position.
How could I have failed?
He kind of thinks. He kind of thinks for a time, and he goes, "I have terms. We stop if you win. Wait, yes, we stop if you win. If we win, we go to the above and celebrate there."
Very well.
He kind of smiles of that, and a few people are kind of whispering around, the above, as they kind of like the idea of it. And he goes, all right, you are 4. And he just begins kind of shouting out some names in a strange language that he speaks right now. It sounds more like a spider than it does a humanoid or a person. And then he goes, gather, and you watch as two drummers and what looks like one of those like kind of acrobats that you saw before hop down onto the drum, and then he jumps down behind them and kind of pulls out his own kind of big drum that he has on his back. And he kind of speaks at you. The rules of the drum battle are as such. And he kind of looks over the group of you. You must drum and you must battle. And you watch as a bunch of people in the crowd kind of bang their drums a couple of times. He looks over at the group of you expectantly.
I nod my head.
And he looks back at you one more time. Fight until yield. And I'd like you to roll for initiative as he kind of bangs his drum 2 more times, and the entire place begins to kind of like erupt.
Oh, I'm good.
Natural 20 and a natural 1. It's gonna be polarizing.
All right, we're gonna roll for these guys. The battle drummer. We're gonna roll for the battle. The battle dancer and drum major. Okay, so the first act is going to be you, Adrien. What would you like to do?
Well, we gotta start this off with a bang. I'm gonna slap my hand down on the big drum and cast Shatter on all 4 of them, since they so conveniently just assembled together.
That's fair. Go ahead and roll me that Shatter. They're gonna make Constitution saving throws. The drum major's gonna make them. It's 1 success. The drum major just makes 1, so he succeeds. The battle dancer's gonna make 1. Fails, and the drummers are going to make 2, and one of them succeeds and one of them fails. So 2 of them take 18 points of damage, and as the shatter erupts, the ground kind of vibrates and shakes, and you watch as the major kind of catches himself. You can see like some of the walls almost cracked with like the base of the drum that you just struck, and the rest of them kind of like scatter and throw out. None of them are finished in one shot by it, but a couple of the ones that failed are not looking all too hot. Anything else on your turn?
My owl is going to give the next person advantage on their attack. Using the help action.
Yeah, okay. We'll worry about it later. You give them the next one advantage on the attack. The first one to act after this is going to be the dancer. You see they kind of step forward, moving along with the kind of rhythmic pounding of the drums and the kind of the bounce of it. They have just an incredible like ease on this kind of difficult to move on surface, and they kind of just kind of dance their way over to you, and they have in their hands these 2 kind of torches that on the kind of bottom side of it, now that you're looking closer, there are blades on both, and they are going to make a couple of attack rolls against I think they're just going to run right up to you, Adrien, since you just made a huge explosion and really beat them up pretty good. And that is going to be an 11 and a 22. I'm just going to strike, I assume, for 4.
Yep.
Then they are going to also, you watch as they're dancing, they kind of roll around almost in like a breakdance style. They begin kind of going into this state of like somersaults as they're going to replace one of their attacks with a dodge action as they stand up in front of you. The 2 battle drummers are going to step forward, and they're next at 21. And you see, not entirely unlike what you did, they are going to step up and cast maybe not quite as good of a spell, as they're going to Thunder Wave. They both kind of step to either side and bang on the kind of center of their drums as they're going to cast the Thunder Wave spell. I would like you guys to make me Constitution saving throws.
Who needs to do con saves?
Yeah, 2. I need 2 con saves from all of you, as they're going to both use their big move here.
20. And save, right?
Yep, Constitution save.
Oh, wait, no, I am at 12. Sorry, my mistake.
Oh my god, I did it!
Yeah, DC 12. It's not a crazy hard one. Sword, you are going to fail on both. Oh my god, taking 12 points of thunder damage, and you just get thrown backwards 20 feet as they bang on their drums, and concussive energy echoes out from it, also kind of creating this great tone.
One moment, did I fail or did I succeed in this one?
With the 12, you succeeded. I do need you to roll me 2, though, because there was 2 of them that were using this Thunderwave spell.
Okay, another Constitution then.
16 also
16.
succeeds. So you take 1 from the first one, and then 4 from the second. So 5 points of thunder damage total that you're going to suffer here, and you're not knocked back. 5 points.
And
5 points to you as well, Adrien. And Diane, you are also taking 5 points. Actually, Sword's the only one who failed, and it was on both. So there's these 2 thunder waves. You're all rocked with sound. You see Hubert just gets tumbled and tossed backwards over the drum, where he's kind of like bouncing and maybe having a kind of thrown off kilter a little bit. And that's all for their turns. That's going to move us next initiative to Hubert. What would you like to do, Hubert? You just got knocked backwards, a big kind of chunk. You're 20 feet back.
All right. I will use my stack deck to keep a little distance and throw out my attack.
Oh, this is a ranged attack?
Yes, it's 10 to 15 feet.
Okay, who are you targeting? Are you going after one of the dancer, one of the 2 drummers, or the drum major?
Whoever happens to be closest.
In this instance, it would be one of the 2 drummers. So go ahead and roll me damage on that. Whoa!
It's just flat 11 damage.
I don't think that's correct, because it just said you rolled an 11 and not a dice. What does the stacked deck do?
Hold on.
Yeah, I don't think it just does 11
correct.
damage.
It does 11 damage.
Oh wait, just does 11 damage? Okay, so since it's not dice, it wouldn't crit and do the extra damage, but it just does 11 points of damage flat. All right, you deal 11 points of damage, and that drummer is actually going to get finished off from that. As you strike them, it kind of cuts into one of their drums, combined with the shatter from before. It kind of pierces through, and you see they kind of fall over backwards onto their drum, and their now kind of unconscious body is just kind of bouncing on the top of the drum as they're kind of continuing. To go. Anything else on your turn?
I use my movement to move further back, and I will pop my ring.
I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Alrighty.
You manage to hold yourself as you move backwards. You find that like the beating of the drum and the way it kind of bounds up and down is kind of throwing off your movement a little bit. You almost stumble, but you manage to catch yourself. Yeah, you're good. You move back and you go into a rage. Anything else on your turn?
That'll be it.
That's going to bring us next initiative to... it was the drum... Nope, it was Reginald next.
Right. You see Reginald get pummeled by the lightning, and he frantically reaches into the bag to realize his other food he had stored was just crisp. So he slowly stands up, takes off the bow tie, puts it in the pocket, and goes into a rage. As you see this very scrawny, tiny little creature start to armor up, the tubes are starting to pump green liquid inside of him. The head opens huge cyclopean red eye as the mask is absorbed into a toothy maw, and he grows about the size of a Goliath. He's very big now. A lot of the wooden parts are covered with metal plating that have muscles sculpted on him, and he stands up with a resounding "Yeah! Yeah, you filthy little things, to dare to mess with my food, I'm going to get you, and I'm going to make you surrender, and I am going to make sure that you are going to regret ever messing with the food that was made for the great Bartholomew." And he goes up to the biggest creature in front of him, and he's going to attack with the glaive.
Are you running kind of past the front line to get to
Actually,
the...
no. What's the front line?
At the front line, there's the one that was kind of like dancing and moving pretty agilely, and then there's one of the drummers who hasn't been hit too hard yet. And then there is, at the back, you can get to like the kind of leader who is the chief, who hasn't moved yet.
But I'm going to get attack of opportunities if I go to the leader, so I'm going to hit the drummer with a glaive.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll. Oh my god, critical strike.
He's apparently very angry.
It sounds like it. Go ahead and roll me damage on that. 8 points of
71.
slashing damage. The glaive kind of whirls and cuts into, and the drummer kind of staggers a little bit, taking the sizable blow from that one.
At this level, I don't have anything else, so yeah.
All right, that's your turn. Not out of commission quite yet. Or you said you were raging, right?
Yes.
Did that include your rage bonus, that damage?
Oh no, right. It's the rage is plus 2, right?
Yeah, so it would actually be not 8, but 10 points of damage. All right, make sure everything counts. And that's going to bring us next to the chief, who is looking around the space, and things are looking... things are not immediately great. He's gonna change the... he's gonna change up the beat. He's gonna put on an aggressive beat. You watch as he just kind of looks around the space and begins taps a couple of big drumsticks that he's holding together and begins playing something sort of different on his large drum that he's carrying. And all of a sudden, the whole space changes and everyone goes into like a much more kind of maddening battle dance that begins to kind of play as the tempo picks up, and you watch as like both himself and the warriors he's fighting with here get pretty pumped up from this. And he has a pool of 12 temp HP he can use now, and that he can do at the start of his turn. He's also going to run forward and enter into the fray himself, striking with reckless abandon at. I think he's gonna go after you as well, Reginald, as he runs over to you. That's a 19.
It's going to hit me.
A 12.
12 will not hit me.
And
Also,
21.
the three damage is halved.
Yep.
Do I?
1. So it counts as 1.
Okay.
And then 2 damage from the last attack. So 3 points of damage he hits you from as he runs at you with his kind of bladed drumsticks out.
1 and 2. Reginald is getting a little beat up, but he doesn't seem to flee. He doesn't seem to be. He isn't deterred by any of this. You dare to do this to me? I am going to make you pay for every little grain and every little thing I had to go to make this food. Yeah.
And he looks like a little bit like, oh geez, as he's seeing this kind of transformation. Like, he's definitely a little bit intimidated by this strange creature. But that's going to bring us to Diane. What do you want to do, Diane?
Okay, so are any of the dancers still grouped up?
Everyone is now just kind of in a big pile, except for Hubert, who's stepped back a little bit.
Alright.
I've written roll well today.
Let's see. Yeah. How many could I get with the shatter?
You could get all of them, including Adrien and Reginald. Like I said, everyone's kind of like mixed up at this point.
All right.
If he holds shatter, could I move out of the way of that shatter? Since I go next?
If he holds shatter and you move out of the way, he could probably get 2 of them without hitting anyone.
Could he get 3 of them just only hitting the Barbarian?
Yeah, but that's a level 1 Barbarian and that's thunder damage, so that would probably be a kill outright.
I'm not going to resist that one.
Yeah, it's probably an outright kill. Keep that in mind.
The Barbarian has a lot of health and they have con save proficiency, right?
To be fair, I don't know if it's metagaming, but to be fair, he doesn't look all that well right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
looks like he has taken a considerable beating, especially since due to the thunder damage he took beforehand.
I'm gonna say that it's a degree of overkill that I'm going to count as PvP, unless Reginald gives says it's cool. Like,
well, I mean, he's not going to be saddened if he sees the things explode. But yeah.
So if I move, he can hit 2 without.
Yeah, you can hit 2 without affecting anyone. So what do you want to do?
I'll hold it so that way Adrien can move.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. In that case, you hold your action. Do you have a bonus action or anything else on your turn?
Let's see. No.
All right. That's going to, in that case, move us next initiative to the top, which is you, Adrien, and you're moving away. Do you want to disengage, or do you want to just?
Can I just move around this dude to give him space to safely?
That would. I don't think you can be anywhere within them and not like also be hitting the other one. So you would have to kind of step back.
Okay. Yeah. First, I'm going to bonus action drink a potion.
That's a great idea. You do so.
And then I'm going to move away, and then I'm going to use my action.
Okay, so you're going to provoke an opportunity attack?
Yep.
All right. Not too bad. 20 will hit for 6 points of piercing damage. So
Yep.
You're good. What do you want to do?
I want to see that shatter happen. Big boom.
For your action?
I'm going to do something after, though.
You're readying an action. What was your trigger for readying the action?
Well, his action should already be triggered once I move away, right?
Oh, that's fair. Yep. So go ahead and cast that shatter. The remaining drummer and the dancer are both going to make Constitution saving throws. The dancer succeeds. They took a lot of damage before, and the drummer is going to fail. She probably shouldn't have used her reaction to attack, because now she can't use those things. The dancer is going to he's going to just take 9 damage, but they were already pretty badly wounded. As the explosion fills the space, they kind of just crumble into a lump and fall onto the drum, continuing to bounce up and down with the weight of it. The other one is going to use a whole bunch of charges of that thing that they got before from the Major's move, and uses reaction to reduce the damage by 15, taking 3 points of thunder damage. As he kind of holds up his drum with the battle fury, he just has this rage in his eyes, almost like the two barbarians.
He only got 12 points, right?
He got 15, I believe. I thought. Oh no, you're right.
He rolled a 1 and a
points.
6. Yeah.
So 6 points he takes. You're right. And
That dude
Well,
is
6.
getting a catapult, and I'm
He's-
lining up the catapult in a way that hits him, then the chief.
All right. I need you.
Wait! You are going to catapult the other guy towards the chief?
No.
No.
Okay.
I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw to move. I forgot to do that before, so you get out of it on the first one, but you do need to make a
Dexterity
a saving throw.
save.
Yep.
Okay.
You're good. You get into position. Go ahead and fire that catapult.
It needs to make a dex save.
Gonna make a dexterity saving throw. 14 and the
It passes, so the chief. The chief does not. The chief takes 13.
13 points of damage. What do you catapult?
A flask of oil.
You're
My.
barreling down on this chief who you're kind of battling, and you see all of a sudden just on the side of his head just as he gets smacked with a flask of oil. Anything else on your turn?
That was my bonus action movement and action. It moves on to my familiar's turn. Since we rolled that, my familiar goes after, right? We don't roll separate initiative for the
No,
familiar.
that's fine. You go. You
Cool.
give help action to sword, I assume.
Yep.
That's going to bring us to the drummer. There's one drummer left. He's going to roll to recharge his Thunder Wave. Which he does not. So he is going to go ahead and move over to you, Diane. And he's going to smack you.
Wasn't I near the drummer?
Oh, you're right. You were. That's going to provoke an opportunity attack.
All right, with the glaive again.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is going to miss. As he runs up to you and is just going to whack at you, Diane, a whole bunch of times. Oh, miss. I assume 9 misses as well. So it's going to be 5 points of bludgeoning damage as he just bonks you one time with a drumstick. And that's all for his turn. That's going to move us to Hubert. What do you want to do, Hubert?
I'm going to use my Hextech Repair Wrench and summon my spiritual turn.
Oh my god. All right, you do so.
Yeah, good. He's an artificer.
He's not. He just has a magic item.
Nice.
That is a. I have a question. Is it summon a turret that functions like a spiritual weapon, or is it you cast the spiritual weapon spell?
Yeah, it functions basically as spiritual weapon.
I'm asking just for the distinction. Does it require you to cast a spell? Because you can't do that if you're raging at the same time. So you have to end your rage to do it. We'll just say that it's the. I'll just assume that it functions.
We'll just go ahead and say it does, and it's my rage, and just for the sake.
Okay, sure. I was just gonna give it to you. But yeah, go ahead. 15 is going to hit. Are you checking the drummer or the chief?
I'm gonna hit the drummer. Hit that guy.
Go ahead and roll damage on that. 3's enough to finish him off. He's taken quite a beating. You smack him with the spiritual turret. He collapses onto the drum, and now only the chief remains as we move next in initiative 2. That's going to be Reginald. What would you like to do, Reginald?
Okay. Can I reach the boss with my movement?
You are, I think, next to the boss. Oh wait, you were fighting the drummer before. The boss moved up to. The boss moved up to you last time to attack you. So you're right next to the boss already.
Okay. I try to grapple him.
Go ahead and make me a athletics check.
Okay, but I think I do it with advantage because I'm raging.
Yeah, because you're rage for sure.
Athletics. 18.
He does pretty good, but you get a firm hold on him.
I grab him in a bear hug with the glaive on his back, and I tried to squeeze him.
Yeah, you and your men thought to die. You tried to mess with my food, yeah, but you underestimated the power of the reed, yeah, and I'm gonna teach you now, yeah.
You bring him in, and he's kind of like looking around. He sees that all of his allies are downed, and there's this giant.
Honestly, I don't know if I can, try to hurt him as I am grappling him, or I have to do it the next turn or something.
It is an action to grapple, so unless you have an attack you can make as a bonus action, you wouldn't be able to.
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, he's looking pretty scared. It's his turn. He's gonna try and escape the grapple. Oh wait, he had proficiency in athletics check. Well, it wouldn't have helped him anyway. But he's gonna try it again. He's gonna try and contest you to break your grapple. Go ahead and roll a check with advantage still.
Okay, strength check?
Yep, you're gonna beat a 16.
Athletics?
And you're gonna beat a 16 with advantage. Yep.
Okay. 16 also.
Ty would go to the person trying to break out in this case.
Again, damn it.
So he kind of like pushes back and kind of staggers away from you a little bit, provoking an opportunity attack if you'd like to make one.
Yes, I would.
14 is going to barely hit. Roll damage on that.
Yeah, you thought you could escape me, but I let you escape me so I could hit you again. Yeah.
8 and 2 with rage. 10.
Yeah, he is not looking great at this point. He's pretty beat up, and he's looking around. He looks at you, Diane, and you see him just kind of like, he begins playing like on the back of his drum, like off notes, notes that don't seem to really coincide with anything that is being played right now. And it begins to like kind of grip at you a little bit. I'd like to make me a wisdom saving throw against his dissonant whispers.
All right.
You're good. You take half damage and you're not afraid. You get thrown off. You take 6 points of psychic damage, and that was his ace in the hole. And he looks over, and he just puts his hand up into the air in a fist as he sees like a fire spell getting ready to get thrown at him while he's covered in oil. And he just goes, I yield. You win. And you watch as all of the music just suddenly comes to a stop as soon as his fist goes up into the air. We'll stop.
Reginald, leans real into his face.
Yeah, you better yield, yeah, because you're lucky because this is an honorable combat and such, yeah, because then, if not, I would have pulverized you, I would have killed you, I would have done a lot of things, I would have.
And then you see him suddenly deflate. You see him suddenly deflate. You see it deflate into his previous form. The liquid stops pumping, and he looks around. He dusts his pants. He puts the bow tie again. Oh dear! Again, it was necessary. Anyway, go.
As he sees you deflate, he looks like a little bit less intimidated by you, but he's still kind of like, he's now just like confused and kind of like, he's beaten and he's beaten up, and like, you watch as some people begin kind of like giving medical treatment to his buddies, and he goes, all right, we're all done.
Hello.
We're all done with the party. We keep our agreement, but just go away. We don't want you down here anymore.
You don't have to end the party necessarily. Perhaps moving it somewhere where.
Yeah, we'll just move this big. We'll just move this giant drum again.
I am so glad we can reach an agreement then.
I mean, perhaps you could hire Bartholomew to move it for you. I mean,
how much is that? Does he take Electrum and with that?
Oh dear.
You guys. You've successfully defeated the drummers. You've stopped them from continuing. You are able to climb your way up with some labor back to the streets of Central City, where the captain of the guard kind of greets you guys as you return. Yeah, it's like hasn't been a tremor for what, like 20 minutes. Do you guys actually stop it?
Well, apparently, yes. We found a cult, society, town, something underneath of these.
We found a group of Titan having
Yeah.
a celebration of sorts down there.
All right, I don't need to know any of the details. Point is it's done? Are they gonna like come back? Is this a temporary thing? They gone for good? What's the whole? What's the deal on that?
We suggested that they move their celebration somewhere.
So it's done.
Yes, it should be done for now.
He kind of claps his hands together. He's all right. That's what I like to hear. You guys did a great job. Central City owes you a debt of gratitude. I am up to my head in paperwork. Let's make this quick. He looks over to all of you. He gives you, hands each of you 100 Bartholomew bucks. Each of you gain 1 point of experience, which means if you are level 1, you are now level 2. And you have successfully completed this adventure. Congratulations, brave heroes, on your success. And would any of you like to shop?
I'm good.
Well, you said 100 Bartholomew?
Yes.
Hmm?
I would like to, but I feel like there needs to be a discussion.
In that case,
I would like to as well, but
I will not be shopping right now. I'll do it in enough time to think what I want to get, see what I can get, etc.
Yeah, the shop is available on our website, DnDTime.stream, so you can go on and check it out there and look in and see if you find something you want. But for now, you said you did want to shop, Dindari.
yes, but not for Diane. For
That is, of course, fine. You return. Greetings, adventurers. I trust that everything went well in all of your endeavors and that you did find success. Who is that I see walking in now? Not Diane, but
Sectless, my Wanty rogue.
It's been a while since I've seen Sectless. How are you?
Doing quite well. I'm here to pull from the bag, so to
We
speak.
can certainly do that for. Roll me a D1000, and I wish you the best of luck. 320. You reach into the bag, and your hand passes over first what appears to be some type of curved shape. Feels like a horn, but I don't know, maybe it's made out of hay or something. It's weird. You next feel your hand wrap around a headband or a crown is what it feels like. That falls from your grasp, and what you end up grabbing, it appears to be a sword. As you pull it from the bag, the sword that you see, it's simple in its make and design, but as you begin to kind of hold it around the air, it seems to have almost an illusion that kind of flows behind it as you move it, like an after image of the sword. And Bartholomew speaks up, this is the streaming blade. This is a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls you make with it. Additionally, you can choose an effect that follows along the path of the blade with each swing. The illusion is fleeting, but can take any form that you choose, be it shooting stars, or streaking fire, or falling cherry blossoms, or any kind of thing that you want to look cool behind your blade. This is the streaming blade. And it's also just a +1 longsword on top of that. So you've gained the streaming blade. This was another item created by Reflected Tonight. That's actually 2 of yours we pulled tonight. So thank you for the submission, Lance. Can I get anything for anyone else?
No, I believe I don't know.
And hearing nothing, Jeremy, shall we to the outro screen? Thank you very much for playing, by the way, you guys. And also, I hope you had fun. Just wise, nice playing with you.
That we did. I hope I wasn't too much with the role play, and
no, of course not.
I hope I did well enough. This is my first time with a group that actually does a little bit of RP, and so I was a little anxious.
It was fun playing with you, and it was nice having you with us tonight.
Thank you. Anything that you would like? Anything that you would want me to tone down, change, or anything? Any advice?
You're fine. And also, we'll talk later. But first, me and Jeremy have to go to the outro screen.